Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, and Crocodiles. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity. This is your brother Nayap, and we got another news segment. I'm going to just get into it. This is fair use, and for educational purposes only.
Get out of the way! Get away from the car! Hey, hurry up this way! Hurry! Come on, your kids are over here. Well, the car's about to blow. Okay, where are my kids? Over here. Hey! Don't knock on that door. That's fine. Bring the kids. What am I going to do?
Is now phasing out the penny, so I guess save them if you got them and you want to. In February, President Donald Trump said pennies are wasteful because it costs more to make them than they are worth. A Treasury spokesperson says the government bought its last batch of penny blanks this month. When the mint is out of those, there won't be any more new pennies. Consumers can still use existing pennies, though. Without 1-cent coins, businesses that still use cash will have to round up or down to the nearest nickel.
I always see crocodile tears of white people. Malema wants to kill white people. Hashem. Stop being sensitive. No one is going to kill you. You think we're going to kill you because you killed our people. The killing mentality is in your head. We don't have a killing mentality. We have a mentality of justice and peace. The only thing we are not prepared to do is to prioritize peace over justice. There must be justice first before there is peace. Because peace without justice, we are pretending. One day we're going to have an outburst. Please, we don't owe white people an apology. Black people, stop apologizing to white people. They are the ones who are owing us an apology. You have done too much to damage a black nation. We are unemployed because of you. We are dying of diseases because of you. We are illiterate because of you. We have surrendered to drugs because of you. You owe us a lot. You must show remorse and stop behaving like crybabies. The South African democracy is going to be built by a robust debate, particularly when it comes to race relations. We must stop pretending to each other here. The poor means black. The rich means white. For as long as that has not been resolved, there will be a permanent problem between the poor and the rich.
So I was just watching a video of a white man in Holland Spring, Mississippi, who went into a bar full of black people and started calling them the N-word repeatedly, the N-word. So the staff tried to calm him down. The black people just tried to ignore him. But he started getting in their faces. He steady calling them the N-word. About time it was over, they got a hold of him. He was butt-ass naked. When he left that bar, they stripped him bone meat, bare-ass naked, and popped some Mario coins out of his ass. He got what he deserved, y'all. Like, it's a video that's circulating around social media. I didn't want to post it because I didn't want TikTok to flag me. But it's funny how he went in there like Superman, calling all these black folks the N-word. but yet he left out that mud butt-ass naked. I'm just asking white people, why are y'all continually trying to mess with us? We sitting out. We not protesting. We minding our own business. We trying to take care of our families and do good. But yeah, y'all steady bringing this garbage towards us. But yeah, y'all, he went in there, Superman. He came out naked, man, because they ripped everything off this dude. And it's funny, but it's not, because it's starting to happen more and more and more. I'm just asking y'all, can y'all please just leave us alone, y'all? We not messing with nobody right now. So please leave us alone.
Breaking news tonight out of Redford, a popular Detroit rapper has been shot. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rupert.
And I'm Mimi Lang. Multiple sources telling Fox 2 rapper Skilla Baby has been shot. And Fox 2's Jessica Duke joins us live with what we're learning tonight. Good evening, Jess. Hey, good evening, Amy and Rue. We are out along 8 Mile near Beach Daily in Redford. And as you mentioned, we have confirmed that Skilla Baby, also known as Trevon Gardner, a well-known rapper here in Detroit and really across the country, has been shot. Now, behind me, you can see that there is some activity going on. The scene mostly cleared at this point. When we were out here earlier, we came up on the scene here on 8 Mile, and there was a black SUV that was smashed into the side of a building and along 8 Mile. It was pretty unbelievable. Dozens of evidence markers marking shell casings. Now, we understand this is described as sort of a drive-by, possibly targeted shooting. Skilla Baby was in a black SUV earlier this evening when that SUV was shot up. We understand he is currently at a local hospital. He had a graze wound to the back of his head, a graze wound to his back, and he was shot in the hand. Now, we understand he was alert as of about a half hour ago, is expected to be okay. Just a very scary situation out here, and police sources are describing this as a targeted shooting. But in terms of a suspect at this point, we don't have any information yet. It's still very, very early. Again, Trevon Gardner, better known as Skilla Baby, a very well-known rapper here in Detroit and across the country, shot earlier this evening. Multiple sources saying that he had 2 graze wounds, also shot in the head. It all unfolded in 8 Mile earlier this evening, ended with his SUV smashing into the side of a building. Now, Redford Township Police are investigating. They got this scene cleared up very, very quickly.
We have some extremely serious news tonight. More than 100 national security staffers, some of the top people in the national security sector in the government, have been dismissed this evening with only 30 minutes to pack up their desks and leave their positions. The Trump administration has officially whittled down the NSC staff to almost nothing, meaning right now the United States of America does not have a national security apparatus sufficient to respond to possible threats both at home and abroad. All that remains is Donald Trump and his own presidential power. He is actively consolidating power within the executive by firing those around him, by dismissing those who he believes are not fully loyal to the cause. And these 100 national security officials spanned all types of positions. They had only 30 minutes to clean out their desks. An administration official told CNN, quote, "It's as unprofessional and reckless as could possibly be." Spread the word. I'll have a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for.
We are on the verge of enormous catastrophes. My primary goal today is to reach those of sound mind in the hope that humanity will suffer as little as possible. It is essentially to understand that the earthquakes occurring today are incomparable in their danger to any that have taken place in the history of our civilization. Previously, major seismic events were isolated. Today, however, we are witnessing a clearly defined trend of exponential growth. Nearly 6 months ago, at the United Nations Biodiversity Conference, COP16, in Colombia, I spoke openly about this alarming trend. Even then, in October 2024, I pointed out that daily occurrences of magnitude 5.0 earthquakes had become commonplace. For the past 6 months, there has been a steady increase in earthquakes of magnitude 6.0 and above. and another 6 months have now passed. You can confirm the increase in magnitude 6.0 plus earthquakes yourself. Simply install a seismic monitoring app on your phone and check it regularly. You will see that earthquakes above magnitude 6.0 now occur every other day. Seismic services are too slow in aggregating annual global data, so your own observations may prove even more telling. We are on the verge of a normal.
When there is a war, it doesn't matter who your enemy is, you need to destroy their offspring to prevent them from creating more offspring.
Oh, that finna shut down, y'all. I know the shorties that use this over there panicking right now, as their little app might go away. So as y'all see, he's looking to sell this joint for $8 billion. So the app that's reportedly finna buy it, they said once they do, they are gonna shut the whole site down. Imagine buying the site for $8 billion just to shut it down. That's crazy if you ask me. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop all them gooners. The crazy thing about this, women are still going to find a way to make their money. They don't really need this app. It's just going to be another app that comes out. But I do feel like this is a step in the right direction if you ask me. How do y'all feel down below in the comments? So ladies, or fellas, if y'all got this, you might as well start looking for another option because it pretty much seems like they finna go away. I just can't wait till I see the reactions from the people once this jump shut down. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
So the whole Arabic, Muslim, Islamic world is sort of behind the Palestinians, behind Gaza, and supports them. Why are they not helping them? Why are they not taking in the Palestinian refugees? I don't understand it. I don't understand why they can't send humanitarian aid, and I'm sure they have in limited capacity, but why don't they take in the 2 million refugees into their own country?
Because they're Palestinians, and that's their land. They don't want to leave. As a German, you don't want to leave Germany and move into Poland.
Yeah, but I mean,
or move into Czech.
No, but that's de facto what happened after the World War. You know, like the frontiers. I don't know. Countries get new. How do you say Grenzen?
Borders.
Borders. Thank you. Countries have new borders. And then people get displaced. And I'm not saying this is a nice thing that happens, right? That's not what I'm saying. But how...
But you're saying it's acceptable.
No, I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying that the Palestinians are still considered refugees after being there for 70 years. Why are they still considered refugees? It's not like in Germany or after all the displacement happened after the Second World War.
Because this is their land. In fact, they want their land back. That's what Hamas is all about. If you go back to 1900, there are hardly any Jews in what is today
I understand
Greater
that.
Israel.
Okay, so and this is why I'm probably so agnostic.
And the Zionists came in and they took the land.
But that's not exactly what happened, is it? I mean, there was like a declaration. There was something going on with the Brits, right? That gave the Israelis the land, or the Jews.
You think the British had the right to give the Palestinians
No, that's not what I'm
land?
saying. And this is why I'm so agnostic on this issue, because I am not very sure about certain historical facts, and I'm just like, this whole mess down there. It just seems to me like this black box of, I don't know, of unfortunate historic events. Because I don't want the Jews all of a sudden to not have a country either. Is that understandable?
I fully understand why the Israelis want their own country, right? But you want to understand that this land, not too long ago, belonged to the Palestinians.
But these things happen all the time in history, John.
You can't make that. Of
but
course
they do. People get displaced, and I'm not saying it's fair, but don't. At some point, you kind of, just like with Ukraine, at some point they're going to have to accept what is, and it's the same in Israel. I'm sorry. I don't think it's that different.
They're not going to accept it. That's quite clear.
Exactly, but I'm saying but then you can have.
That's why the Israelis want to drive them out.
Yes, but you can choose unfair peace, or you can fight for fairness of the land. I mean, you can choose whichever you want, but sometimes unfair peace is probably better.
If you were a Palestinian living in Gaza and you were young, you would have joined Hamas in all likelihood.
I understand.
You would have rebelled.
Listen, John,
And if your family owned property that was now part of Israel, you would want that property back. You would view it as your property, right?
After decades and decades?
Yes, exactly.
Germany doesn't want territory back in Poland or in Czech.
Many Jews argue that Israel has a deed to the territory that it now controls. Yes, a biblical
deed, right? Which is it's a little ridiculous. I do understand that. I totally understand it, but I'm talking about like the situation we have right now. So what are we going to do with what we have right now? And sometimes things are unfair.
So basically what's going on, they trying to figure out who does the land belong to. But the thing is, that land don't belong to them. It don't belong to these fake Jays. All right, it don't belong to the fake Jays. It belongs to the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, all right, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But they're trying to control that land, and they can't control it because the Lord, the Father ain't letting that happen. So it is what it is, man. All praises to Yahweh Shemi Yahushua, but they trying to figure out who this land belonged to and what's going on, and and they can't figure it out. But plus if they was the real Jays, Yahweh shall already be back and everything would be good and no more wars would be going on. But that's not happening, and they can't see what's the problem, showing you that they don't know anything about the Bible. All right, the Bible belongs to the Hebrew Israelites, again, to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but they can't understand that. Salakia for this little news segment being long, but they think the land belongs to them, but it doesn't. It belongs to the real Jays, the Hebrew Israelites. It don't belong to the fake Jays.
It's just how it goes. Do we want this fighting to continue forever? Because this is what I'm thinking.
I want to be very clear here. The United States believed for a long time that it had a solution, and many American leaders still believe there is a solution. It's the two-state solution. In other words, divide the land, divide Greater Israel, give the Palestinians a viable state of their own. This is
not a viable solution. You've said so yourself. This is not going to happen.
That's right. But why is it not a viable solution?
Well, probably because Israelis don't want to give them their land.
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah,
That's right.
I recognize that.
Well, if they don't give them their land, you can then expect the Palestinians to fight back.
Okay, I understand this, and I totally understand. I understand that when you're a young person in Gaza and you've seen your family be killed by an IDF attack or what, I understand it completely. I just wonder for how long do we want to continue this conflict?
Whose way?
Well, I mean, it's not only.
It's for how long do the Palestinians want to continue to resist, and for how long do the Israelis want to continue?
Well, it's not just between Israel and the Palestinians, is it? There's obviously a global community that is involved.
The global community is largely ineffectual because of the United States. You pointed out that Steve Walt and I wrote this book. The United States basically supports Israel.
That's why I'm saying there's other countries involved. It's not just Israel and the resistance in Gaza.
Yeah, but the country that's involved that matters is the United States, and it's joined at the hip with Israel. It does basically what Israel wants. We wanted a two-state solution. It's just very important to understand that. Every president from Jimmy Carter forward was deeply committed to creating a two-state solution. We could not get a two-state solution because Israel had little interest, and the lobby went to great lengths to undermine the pressure that any American president put on Israel to move to a two-state solution. You ended up with an apartheid state. And when you have an apartheid state where you have, roughly an equal number of Palestinians and Israeli Jews living inside it, the dominated group is going to revolt. And there are other centrifugal forces at play inside the country as well. So this is a country that's in real trouble. And again, American presidents wanted to help solve this problem a long time ago by moving to a two-state solution. But the Israelis thought that they could beat the Palestinians into submission or keep them under control. And they were wrong.
This has been an interesting discussion. I think that I'll probably keep my I won't keep my agnostic view on Israel and Gaza, because I do understand that what's happening is unfair. It's not just, right? Like, you can't just go about killing tens of thousands.
The genocide is more than unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, genocide is a red line. And, as soon as I see...
I think I have trouble using that word, to be honest. Like, and maybe it's because I'm in Germany and I'm afraid to say something like that,
you would get in trouble in Germany.
I guess I am a little bit afraid.
Germany has basically abandoned free speech on this issue. In fact,
I bet a lot of issues, but yeah, especially concerning Israel and all of that stuff, I just get really like, I kind of freeze up, and I'm like, I don't even know what can I compare, because you've used the word concentration camp, you've used the word genocide, and I'm like, I get a little...
And apartheid.
Yeah, and you use these words, and I'm like, I am a little afraid to even use these words, because, you can get in trouble comparing things, and...
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But that's the power of the lobby, right? See, the lobby goes to great lengths to control the discourse.
At least 12 people, we're hearing, have been injured in that stabbing attack at the main train station in Hamburg. Police have said that a person with a knife injured several people at the station, some of whom are now in a critical, life-threatening condition. One person has been arrested, we're hearing as well.
Well, breaking fuck the news. You think Louisiana's had enough? Because they have not. For the second time, a 22-year-old man, and I'm not talking about the other inmates, I'm talking about it's this individual's second time escaping from jail. He, and insult to injury, they didn't even know the young motherfucker got away until somebody called and snitched. Somebody called the jail and said, is Trayvon Johnson still in jail? And they said, we're going to go count. They did a head count. The bitch was gone. They reviewed the cameras. He had another inmate lift him up over the fucking fence. He's currently on the run.
You're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history. I could never understand how this simple truth evades the leaders of France, Britain, Canada, and others. They're now proposing to establish a Palestinian state and reward these murderers with the ultimate prize. Well, for 18 years, we had a de facto Palestinian state. It's called Gaza. And what did we get? Peace? No. We got the most savage slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. I say to President Macron, Prime Minister Carney, and Prime Minister Starmer, when mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers thank you, you're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history.
Well, breaking motherfucking news, and good afternoon. Donald Trump announces that he has contacted the CEO of Apple, Tom Cook, I believe his name is, and told that fine young gentleman, you will not be making phones in India and China and shit like that anymore, and if you keep doing it, I will slap a 25% tariff on all iPhones. What Donald Trump had failed to tell all of y'all, since he wanted to be on Truth Social and not tell the truth, is that if those iPhones are created in the United States, they are going to cost anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. And the average iPhone already cost a brother anywhere from $1,500 to $1,900. So then if he slaps a 25% tariff on it, any Apple product is going to cost you a fucking arm and a leg. So he's trying to force the iPhone to be created in the United States, even though it will cost the American people thousands.
中方高度关注相关事件，坚决反对任何威胁外交人员安全的行为，要求开展全面调查，避免类似事件再次发生。一段时间以来，约旦河西岸的形势持续紧张，中方敦促有关方，特別是以色列，不要採取任何進一步激化矛盾的舉動。
このような事案の発生は誠に遺憾であり、あってはならないと考えております。政府としてはイスラエル側に抗議するとともに、説明と再発防止を申し入れたところでございます。
And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks
Does
like
that
that's
seem
about.
right
It
to
looks like that.
Right to you?
Looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring.
Yes or no?
Those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
Ask your question.
This is your interview. Everyone wants to hear from you.
Ask your question. Yes or no?
Not for
Racist
me.
laws, yes or no?
Not for me to answer. I have got a question for you about your government work and the amount of savings.
Why do you like racist laws? And the fact that Israel won't allow it is sticking in my gullet. And when it's pretended to be out of some quaint concern for my personal safety, I'm afraid is laughable. And my question is this: if Israel has nothing to hide, why are they not letting international journalists go in? Tell me. Why don't they let them all in so that what you're telling us can actually be independently verified?
You should be cheering, Pierce. Everyone in this
I don't cheer an 11-week blockade of food to an impoverished people.
Should destroy genocide and should be able to bring the food to the people who need it. But instead, what you are doing and what Jake is doing is you are
starving them, you sicko. You know why I yell on this program?
You're an anti-Semite at your core. You care nothing else about the Muslim world. You care about
they talk over everyone else. If you're going to talk over everyone else, I'm going to talk over you. You starved more people than anyone else in the world. Israel has killed more journalists than anyone else in the world. You're not going to talk over me.
Wait, hold up. Did Piers Morgan just grow up conscious on his own show, Piers Morgan Uncensored? After nearly 2 years of tap dancing around the word genocide, the man who once couldn't even find Gaza on a map is now throwing verbal Molotovs at Israel's spin machine, and I'm here for it. In this explosive showdown, Piers and Cenk Uygur go full throttle on Dorn Spielman, an IDF mouthpiece who accidentally lets the truth slip like a wet bar of propaganda soap. This isn't your average polite panel discussion. This is a verbal warfare, truth bombs, and media redemption rolled into one. If you've been craving accountability, buckle up, because even Piers Morgan finally snapped out of his media matrix. You don't want to miss this one, trust me. Let's dive in.
And where have we got? We've got to a place where Hamas clearly still are there. They're clearly still holding these hostages, and Israel can't get them to release them, which suggests to me that Hamas's power base is still pretty much intact, or that process would have happened by now. And I'm not sure, I don't see any end game or plan here, other than increasingly it seems that there are people on that government who just want to get rid of all the Palestinians, who want to just take over Gaza, and that will be it. And that is actually the very genocide that so many on the pro-Israeli side keep recoiling at hearing that word, because they say it's not genocide. Well, if you get rid of a whole people based on their ethnicity from an expansive land that is theirs, where they've been living, what else do you call it? So I got angry, and then everyone got angry at me, because everyone gets angry about everything you ever say about this war. But from where you sit, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable as an IDF reservist with what is now going on, with hundreds being killed every day, so many women, so many children in particular? Are you comfortable that there is a strategy here that is either working or is not just turning Israel slowly but surely into a global pariah?
Pierce, I don't think that anyone in Israel has been comfortable since October 7th. You're asking me what is a proportional response to 1,200 people being slaughtered, raped, babies being burnt, 250 people which have been taken captive as hostages, 57 of which are still in the Gaza tunnels. I'll tell you, I think that the word is a smokescreen. Hamas went after civilians, and you're asking me what's a proportional response? Israel's response has been never to go after a civilian.
only to go after Hamas terrorists. Now, I've been in Gaza. I've been in Gaza 4 different times.
They killed tens of thousands of civilians.
When you're in Gaza,
yeah, but when you're in Gaza
and you're on the ground in Gaza, what you see, just 1 second, what you see when you're on Gaza is you're being fired on from parks, from schools, from apartment buildings. Hamas fighters are popping out of ground every Hamas tunnel. I don't know if you've been on Gaza, Pierce.
No, you know why I haven't been in Gaza? Doran, hang on. You ask a question.
You can go into Gaza, Pierce.
You ask a question.
Million people that have entered Gaza.
But here's the key point, Doran. International journalists have not been allowed into Gaza to independently verify any of this. That's been another massive problem I've had with this. If Israel has nothing to hide, they should let
Pierce,
all the...
have you ever been in Gaza?
Hang on, let me finish.
Pierce.
Hang on. Let me finish my question. Let me finish my question.
Have you ever, you had 20 years to go to Gaza.
Let me finish my question, please.
What happened on October 7th that all of a sudden you want to walk into a war zone?
I'm going to finish my question whether you let me or not, okay? And my question is this. If Israel has nothing to hide, why are they not letting international journalists go in? Tell me. Why don't they let them all in? So that what you're telling us can actually be independently verified.
Pierce, Israel is trying to deal with a terrorist regime that is popping out of tunnels, popping out of buildings, is everywhere. And you want us to unleash a flood of reporters into the area. When a Hamas reporter was killed because he was Hamas, the entire world media blamed Israel for killing a reporter, and he was a member of Hamas, a verified member of Hamas that filmed himself as part of October 7th. So you want us to unleash 1,000 reporters.
You're not banning the international media out of concerns for their safety.
One second, Pierce.
Don't insult my intelligence, Doran. Don't insult my intelligence.
You're asking me questions while I'm speaking.
Don't insult my intelligence. Israel is not banning international media
I'm just trying to provide an answer, Pierce. I don't feel like I have an opportunity to actually answer.
You're not banning us out of concern for our safety. You're banning us because you don't want the international media to witness what you're doing on the ground for reasons that I don't know. But the best way to remove any suspicion about what you're doing is to let the international media in. They will make their own risk assessment. It will be down to their security teams, as it is in any war zone. But the idea that somehow Gaza should be the only war zone in the world where you don't let international journalists go and operate and do their job, and you can do that, Israel, because you basically control all the access to Gaza, I'm afraid it's for the birds. You should just let the media in. Then everything you're saying can be verified as true or untrue. And the fact that Israel won't allow it is sticking in my gullet. And when it's pretended to be out of some quaint concern for my personal safety, I'm afraid it's laughable.
Yeah, Pierce, we have more journalists than all other conflicts combined. Hundreds of times. I myself have taken reporters into Gaza in armored vehicles, let them walk around. Palestinians on Gaza take pictures with their phones every single day. All you have to do is look at Telegram, look at X, look at every single social media channel. If you think that the suffering of Gazans is not displayed, you're wrong. What is not being presented, and this lies at the very source of your question, is why is there so much suffering in Gaza? We have brought 1.8 million tons of food into Gaza. That is a ton of food. 2,000 pounds of food per person in Gaza. Why are there people in Gaza that are hungry right now? It's because all that food that goes into Gaza is taken by UNRWA, all the international agencies that fill their coffers with that food, by Hamas, who steals that food from the Gazan people. And now that Israel actually has a plan to go into Gaza, take over the Gaza Strip, enable very clear distribution points, you should be cheering, Pierce. Everyone in this
I don't cheer an 11-week blockade of food to an impoverished people.
Should destroy Hamas and should be able to bring the food to the people who need it. But instead, what you are doing, and what Cenk is doing, is you are
starving them, you sicko.
Did you not see Odeh Raby? Do you know who that is, Cenk? Cenk, who's Odeh Raby? Do you know Odeh Raby? Did you speak about Odeh Raby, Cenk? I didn't see him on your social media.
Listen, here's what I'm saying about how the fact that your government is starving 2.2 million people right now. You're starving the babies, you monster. Why don't you stop? You're the terrorist.
10,000 people
You're the terrorist. Your governments are terrorists that are trying to kill 2 million people right now.
His parents received his body with a noose around his neck and his underwear. And all of those people, 5 were killed, and dozens and dozens of them have gone missing.
You know who's the worst terrorist in the world?
To keep Hamas in power. And the reason is you've never been on the ground. You support David Duke. You're an anti-Semite at your core. You care nothing else about the Muslim world. You don't care They talk over everyone else. If you're going to talk over everyone else, I'm going to talk over you. You served more people than anyone else.
Basically, everything went to a shit show with that. I'm going to say shalom, because this was a long one.